Hello, everybody. Welcome to Expansion Pass here on Boss Rush Network. I'm your host, and I take excited ADV. Joining me is the one, the only Bossman himself, Mr. Corey Dirrig. Hello, good sir.
Hello, Edward. How are you? We are back.
I am.
For some reason.
I am great because Corey, as of this recording, it's the 40th anniversary of the Legend of Zelda. And I think we should talk about it to celebrate 40 years and what possibility can we see the next Zelda announced sometime this year?
I heard it's a dead franchise. I heard it's dead.
Oh no,
nobody likes it. Last one's sold horribly.
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm being a meanie.
So so it is 40 years. The game was released February 21st, 1986. And I was 5 years old when it got released.
You want to feel really old, Ed? I wasn't born yet. I was born that fall.
Oh, 86?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So, yeah. Yep. Zelda is older than me.
I know my cousin had it. I got Zelda a little bit later on the NES, but I had played my cousin's version of it. And then when I got my own, I was able to go in and beat the game and stuff. So that's nice. Kind of like my Zelda experience. Yeah, we're going to talk about just a little bit about the Legend of Zelda, our time with the game, how we got into it, and then we'll go from there, I should say. So yeah, the Legend of Zelda was my first introduction. Actually, two role-playing games or adventure games, if people want to call it, because I know there's a big debate about that.
There's no debate. It's not an RPG.
To me, it is.
It's not. You're wrong, but that's not the first time, so it's okay. You can keep going.
Wait, we agree to disagree about that, so we'll just let that be.
It's listed as an action adventure game, but it's fine.
It's
fine.
But that's me.
It's fine. Nintendo listed as an action adventure game. It's fine, Ed. Final Fantasy is an RPG. Dragon Warrior is an RPG. It's fine, though.
What about Secret of Mana?
I don't know. I've never played it.
What you mean you never played it?
I've never played it. What do you mean I've never played it? I've never played it.
What, man?
You know I've never played it. You know everything on the Super Nintendo I've never played. Literally almost everything on the Super Nintendo. It wasn't called Ninja Turtles.
If it wasn't Mario or Ninja Turtles, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Don't judge me.
You missed out on that.
Don't judge me.
That shot. Well, okay.
Don't judge me.
I would judge you in my mind because I'm just like, how?
Because you're a horrible person.
How?
You're judging me. Thou shalt not judge, Ed.
Don't you come with this nonsense now?
What?
We're gonna leave that there. No, but Corey, how did you actually? I can't even finish the question because I'm laughing.
I know. That's the point. It's like what I said to you at PAX that one year.
I think that was we have multiple times that we have fell out laughing, but that one was just so funny that we both couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, and Stephanie looked in our room and she was like brushing her teeth or something, and she just like walked away from us. That was funny.
That was really funny. Really
good times. Good times.
Hope to do more of that this year again. That one and the Airbnb one when I was
Oh, you mean when you were on your laptop and you fell asleep and you were still looked like you were working on your laptop but you were sleeping? Yeah.
Not that one. That was That was the same year for your quote, but the other one was with me, um, you downstairs to everybody because y'all was waiting for me, and
Oh,
I was
yeah.
upstairs, and and, and you said something, and I had to text everybody what was going on, and everybody just fell out laughing.
Well, it was funny.
Yeah, I think I
Oh,
fell asleep.
dude, you
I
fall
think I
asleep
fell.
all the time.
Did I fall? I think I fell asleep twice with the laptop on. Did I do it in Boston or
Yes.
just Boston was with the was the second time, but we didn't do it in the Airbnb house, did I? I don't
Yeah,
think
you
so.
did. Yeah, you did. You did. You did.
Oh,
You did. It was funny. It
I
made
know
us
the
all laugh.
apartment when I was like knocked out, I was gone.
It was funny.
So I actually thought you was asleep too.
Never
So
asleep.
mm,
I'm never asleep.
I doubt that. But let's get back into the show. Let's see before we go do memory lane. I don't know, but Corey, yeah, when did you get into the Legend of Zelda series?
So the first Zelda game I ever had was a Link's Awakening for Game Boy Color, which I still have complete inbox over there on my shelf. It's over
Yeah.
well, it's over there, I guess. Can't see it in frame. But that was the first Zelda game I had, but I really didn't get into it until I would say in 64. Honestly, like Ocarina of Time was like the first real Zelda experience I had. And I liked it, but then I mean, I've told this story on the show probably 100 times at this point. Uh, but I got stuck at the Shadow Temple because I didn't know you
Mhm.
had to go back in time. I didn't know you could go back in time, and I didn't have a guide or look online or have friends. I would say have friends to ask, but I just, I didn't have friends. So, uh, so I gave up because I was like, I don't know what to do. This is stupid. And then the first Zelda game I actually finished, ironically enough, was Majora's Mask, which is like the one that nobody finishes because I don't know. I got it. Oh, I went down the street. I rode my bike down the street to the video store that was by my house,
Mhm.
and I rented it. And I very rarely rented games, right? But Nintendo Power had Nintendo Power had Majora's Mask in the issue that I got. I was like, I really liked that other one. I probably should have finished it, but I'm going to go check this new one out. So I rode my bike down there. I took my $3 or whatever it was to rent a game for a weekend.
Mhm.
Dude, I beat it in a weekend. Like I literally sat there it was a long weekend. I beat it during that weekend, and I was like, man, I really want this game and I should go back and play the other one. So I actually got the strategy guide for Ocarina, started over, finished it, and then I got Majora's Mask, which I also have both of those complete in box over there on the shelf somewhere.
Mhm.
Somewhere. They're over there. Uh and yeah, it was a great time. I had a great time with those. And then like obviously I was excited for GameCube, and I got a GameCube for my birthday, and Wind Waker came out later, right? But if you pre-ordered Wind Waker, you got, depending on where you pre-ordered it, you got that either the collector's disc, which the 4 games on it, which was Zelda 1, 2, Ocarina, and Majora's Mask, or you got the Master Quest of Ocarina somewhere
Mhm.
at some point. So I ended up playing the Master Quest of Ocarina. I had the collector's edition, like the collector's disc or whatever, with the first 2 games on it too. But it was like, I mean, it was at a time where like 2D gaming was like nobody wanted to play 2D games, right? Like nobody wanted to play them. 3D was all the rage, and the new generation of consoles was coming out, and it's like I want to play like the stuff I've never played before, and
Yeah.
uh so that's kind of I never really got into 2D Zelda games. Like, the first 2D Zelda game I ever finished was the Link's Awakening remake on Switch.
Ooh,
That's the first
okay.
2D Zelda game I've ever finished. I played a lot of them,
Mhm.
like the DS games, Link Between Worlds I dabbled in, but I wanted to play and I really liked it, but I'm like, man, I should I got I don't know how far I got into it, probably like halfway through. I was like, I should play A Link to the Past first, and then I never went back to Link to the Past. And then I dabbled in the Oracle games. Oh, I lied. I've finished Minish Cap also. Minish Cap was the first one I finished, and then Link's Awakening. Uh,
Ah,
but Minish Cap was cool. Uh, but I've always just been more of a 3D Zelda person than a 2D Zelda person. And then Twilight Princess is like my favorite Zelda game of all time, right? So,
mhm.
I mean, I like Breath of the Wild, right? I mean, I could argue that that is in one way and Twilight Princess is in another way, right? But like, I don't know, Twilight Princess means a lot to me. It's a very, very good game. I love that game so much. So much so that I've bought it 3 times and willing to buy it again when Nintendo ever releases it for the Switch or Switch 2 or both. I'll buy them both.
Yeah.
I was actually hunting down that DS cartridge with the trailer on it at one point
Oh, wow.
that they gave out at E3. Remember when they did that? Um, I don't
Oh,
remember
did
if it was
they?
I don't remember if it was a DS cart or a GBA cart, but it was just a cart with the Twilight Princess trailer on it, and that was it.
Wow.
But people are selling it. It's expensive.
Shit, I would have kept it. What are you
But
trying to sell it?
I don't have one, but only people that went to E3 that year got it. But I obviously didn't go. But and then obviously like the Zelda games that were shown that looked really cool, like the Space World demo for GameCube, right?
Mhm.
Or the tech demo for Wii U was really awesome. But yeah, that's kind of it, I think. Like, I mean, there's really not a lot with how much we both love Zelda and
Yeah.
like talk about it a lot. Like I really haven't played a whole lot of the series historically, right? I've only finished the 3D games.
Well, I know for me, I beat the first one. I actually got the Adventures of Link at a furniture store.
Oh
Um
boy.
that my mom used to shop at, and they were selling games, and they had a bin for games and stuff, and the Legend of Zelda Adventures of Link was in there, so I got it there. When it came to Link to the Past, I actually rented that game at a video store that was up the street from my house, and I ended up beating it on that. When it came to the N64, Ocarina of Time with the 3Ds, I skipped Majora's Mask, but I got Ocarina of Time for Christmas. Um, and so because Christmas time was when I really, if it was a birthday, I would get a game. If it was like something really cheap, I would get a game. Or Christmas time, I would get a game. Or um, up until I start before I was able to start buying my own games, like those are the times that I would get it. Um, so Majora's Mask, I skipped because I didn't like the timeline thing, but I love Ocarina of Time. My first Zelda game that I purchased was was a link, not Link to the Past, was Wind Waker. And then I ended up buying Minish Cap. Um, ended up buying Twilight Princess. Um, and then I ended up no, I ended up getting Twilight Princess for Christmas, and I ended up buying the Wii one when it came out
Hmm.
and stuff. So, and then the rest of the Zelda games, I ended up, buying Skyward Sword, because like I was working at Toys R Us, so I was getting the games on the discount, 10% off. You know, pay $49 plus tax, or 53 some dollars, I should say. You know, I'll take it and everything. Um, Twilight Princess HD, Wind Waker HD. You know, I started buying that and everything. Then it came to the other Zelda games, Breath of Tears. I ended up buying that. Um, and I had always loved the Zelda games, since the NES one. Um, I I know like some of the side games I didn't get, like Four Swords and Triforce Heroes. I didn't get those because like I didn't really have no one to play those games with. So the multiplayer aspect didn't do nothing for me. So I let those games go and stuff.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I never really played those either, to be honest. I had Four Swords for the GameCube, but that's because I was trying to like collect stuff,
mhm,
essentially at that point. And I never really played it with anybody, like it was just especially at that time, like it was like a hassle to get your friends together, make sure they all had GBAs, and then you had to have like the hookups and
yeah.
games, and it was just like a whole thing, right? So like just never um I just never had it in me to like do all that, and I don't even know how that would even work nowadays,
Mhm.
like, but
And I think for the Zelda games, that's when we started seeing different transitions, innovations, iterations of the Zelda franchise, because each game never felt the same. You know, there was always different gameplay mechanics, different worlds, different designs, different eras. They were able to put Link and Zelda and Ganon in. Um, you know, we had Link Between Worlds that changed. Like, hey, you can have all the items, go to any dungeon you want if you want that. With Breath of the Wild, they made an open world and it became a science game. You know, if you want to go here, you're gonna have to, plan your stuff out and then use physics and all of this stuff um to get further to the game. And then, like I said, Tears is an engineering game because of all the stuff that you could build out and create and combine the stuff. Um, you know, it always felt like one thing that stayed consistent with the Zelda franchise was the delays. You know,
mhm.
even with Twilight Princess got reworked, I think twice. Um,
Yeah, I
that
mean, it
game
it
got
got
delayed.
delayed, also too, to, like, accommodate the Wii version, and, like,
Mhm.
the thing about the Wii version is that it's totally flipped from the GameCube version. They like, the entire game is mirrored to the GameCube version
Yeah.
to make Link right-handed because most people, not me, but most people, are right-handed, and so they wanted the Wii remote to feel comfortable for people, right? And,
Yeah.
obviously even when we play games now, like you do move your character with the left stick, so it made sense in a way, right? So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I mean, I remember that was like the big complaint about Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild when they were first shown off, is like Link is right-handed in both those games, you know, and people hated it, but whatever, that's their problem, I guess. But also, I mean, that was a character, that was a cool thing for me to have, like, oh man, this character's left-handed, I'm left-handed, that's cool,
Yeah.
uh, not to like, I whatever, but it was cool to see a left-handed character because there's not a lot of left-handed anything out there, you
Mhm.
know. So, good luck buying a baseball glove or a golf set or anything being a
Yes,
led
you gotta
person,
get all that. You gotta get all that custom made.
so. I mean, it's not custom made. I mean, now you can go online and get it and have no problem. But you know what I mean? Like back then, it
Yeah.
was like, oh, we only have right-handed things because left-handed people are stupid. I'm like, well, sure, but also, where's my stuff?
Right.
But it was cool to have Link be left-handed, and um, also I remember distinctly playing the GameCube version of the game on my Wii because I didn't want to do the motion controls.
Mhm.
Like Wii Sports was cool, but I'm like, and Red Steel was something, but I wanted to play Zelda the normal way. So
Yeah, I was still playing on my GameCube because I didn't have the Wii just yet.
mhm.
Once I bought the Wii, I actually bought Metro Prime 3
Did you
Corruption.
get it late? Like I got mine on launch day. We stood out in line for the Wii for on launch day for
Mhm.
some psychopath reason. Dude, I was so sick over Christmas break that year, but I didn't care cuz like it was the it was the year I came home from college, like from Columbus to go to school back at
Mhm.
home. Uh but like I remember because we went out, what was it? It came out like the week before Thanksgiving or something, like the 19th or something. Uh,
Yeah.
and dude, I was such an idiot. We went out, dude. I stood in line at Toys R Us in the middle of November, a cold November, in basketball shorts and flip flops and like a hoodie. And we sat outside in line for like 6 or 7 hours to the point where like I was so cold and frozen over. Like I didn't even, dude, I thought I was like dying, but I got one. So it was
Um, at that, what year did it come out? The Wii
20 or 2006, 7, 6,
2000.
2006.
So I was at JCPenney outlet, so I did not get it. When it got released, I got it. I think um a year later. I think I got it that following year because I know they was kind of like sold out and stuff. Because I was still paying for my car and school and things like that. Um, and so yeah, I just ended up getting it later because um when the black one came out, I ended up getting that one. No, actually, no. Yeah, I did. I got it when Metroid Prime 3 Corruption came out. Uh, so I didn't have the because I got the white one with Corruption. I got the black one when the black one dropped.
Uh,
Because then I ended up setting my white one in our family room, and then when I got the black one, I kept the black one in my room and stuff.
mm,
And I think Zelda, because I think Zelda went, I think Twilight Princess went for 19.99 at one point in some stores. So I bought it then, and then I just started racking up the collection, for my Wii U. I mean, not my Wii U, for my Wii and stuff. Cause yeah, at that time I wasn't into Xbox at that time because
mm,
what I was hearing about 360. Um, but yeah, I had that when I had the Wii and the PlayStation 3. I started building up both system libraries and buying so many Wii remotes and stuff because they were always on sale. There was always some good price
mhm.
uh, for it.
Yeah, I just what was I gonna say? I just I wasn't really into like the Xbox or anything either. Like I had one and I took it to college with
Mm.
me because Halo was obviously like, I mean it's Halo, right? So but I mean other than that, like I didn't care about the Xbox. I had the Xbox in the other room while I was in my dorm room playing like Kingdom Hearts and Zelda and anything else I could get on the GameCube at that point
Mhm.
because that's like all I cared about was the GameCube. Uh, so yeah, that was yeah, I don't know. It wasn't really until the Xbox 360 that I really cared about the Xbox 360, but I didn't even like I was so not in the loop on what was happening with Xbox that like there were these two people I played football with. They were twins and they were obviously they roomed together, but they bought an Xbox 360 and brought it into the dorm rooms, and they were playing Gears of War because Gears had just come out. I was like, "What is this?" Which is
Mhm.
weird because you would have thought I would have known what that was because I was getting Game Informer and stuff at the time, right? Like, I think Gears
Yeah.
was on the cover at one point uh, because it had that first design of Marcus in it, and then they redesigned Marcus towards the end of development. But uh, yeah, man, it was a weird man when that 360 came out. That was like the HD era was a different era. It was a weird era, and so um, that kind of like made the Wii look sad in comparison in some respects because like you saw Gears and then you're sitting in your like sitting at home like playing Wii Sports, which is like a really fun game, but also like Gears was like the last time I remember a generational leap in graphics, like
Mhm.
it was incredible looking. So but I don't know. I still didn't really care all that much about the 360 until like I mean, I played a lot of Gears, but it wasn't until like Halo 3 and Gears 2 that I like really cared about the 360, Because then we finally got broadband internet at my parents' house and like I was playing Xbox Live and everything like then, the rest is whatever. Like now we just live online, but at the time we didn't.
Yeah, I ended up getting broadband because I ended up getting a computer and I needed to get the internet. So I ended up getting broadband uh too. And that's when broadband started taking off uh and everything.
Yeah.
So
Man,
which
what
is
a
funny
strange
because
time.
yeah. Um well I can't say there are moments in the Zelda series that, that are just memorable. Some like some have been scary. Um some has been just exciting and laughable. One of my scary ones is so it's a hint in one of the temples in
Oh, the
Ocarina
like
of Time.
the likes where they come down off the ceiling and then they pull you out and
Yeah.
put you at the beginning of the
Yes.
dungeon. Yeah, it's awful. And then
Yeah.
like they steal your stuff. Some of them do. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's those like weird like worm looking things that like suck you up and eat your stuff. But
The pancake one, which are the Warrens, they're the ones that eat your like shield and stuff.
yeah,
From Legend of Zelda. But the likes from Ocarina of Time, when you go into one of the dungeon rooms and you don't know they're there and everything, and you're trying to figure out a puzzle, and it just jumps down and grabs you, I dropped my controller and screamed. I'm like, ah! And then I know I was just like, what are these doing back in the game? These were having they haven't been in the Zelda series since the first game and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So so to have because this is when Anuma started developing or I think producing, or getting involved in the game. When that happened, man, I dropped my controller and I was just like, okay, I gotta get through this dungeon. I gotta possess and stuff.
I'm surprised it
And
took
every
that
time,
long. For me, it was the Goma on the ceiling from the first dungeon. That was scary, dude. When you're like walking that room and all of a sudden Link's looking around and all of a sudden the big glowing eye
mhm.
in this dark room. That was scary, man. At least when I was like 10, it was scary. But
uh, yeah. Um, one of my laugh out loud moments is the ghost boss in Wind Waker, where
Mm,
all the other miniature ghosts make it the big one, and you kind of, I think it's a sun puzzle. I think you got to light them with the shield or the mirror and everything, so that all the ghosts can explode, and you can smack them individually. It's the he a pig with a mask. He forms a mask with all the ghosts and stuff.
mhm.
That has been one of the funniest and one of the best Zelda bosses I have endured. And trust me, I the roller coaster boss with the or the dreidel boss, I should say, with the dragon. When you're on the side of Twilight Princess and you're in the
Mm.
sand and you're going around, dude, one of the best boss designs for a level.
Yeah, I forgot
Everything.
about that. Yeah, that's that because like you have to like because it's like a giant gear essentially too, right? Because you have to
Yeah.
like go around and use the kind of ride the gear links right on it. So like you're kind of like
Mhm.
swirling around at some point and like yeah, I mean, in my opinion, Twilight Princess probably has the best dungeons by far in the series. Those dungeons are like really,
Creative,
really
innovative.
great. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't really know. I mean, I don't even know what like what other dungeons would even compare. I mean, Ocarinas were good, but I mean, obviously that was like their first crack at a 3D dungeon. But
So I know Link to the Past dungeons were very challenging. I think one of them that stands out, and everybody, I think it's still on Boss Rush Corey. Our playthrough of it, of Link to the Past, is still on there.
I don't know. I it's probably on the Nerds Gone Rogue YouTube channel. I I
Okay.
don't really know anymore where things are. That's why I'm trying to clean things up, Ed. That way we
Well,
know where everything is.
yes, me and Corey did a playthrough of The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Corey watched and commentated. I played through the game. We did it through the Switch. Um, and one of the dungeons in, I think it's in the Dark World, is where you gotta save this princess, and she doesn't want to go outside, so because if you take her outside she ends up going back to where you found her. So you gotta solve puzzles and stuff. You gotta get her, and then take her into the boss room, and when you move she'll follow you and she'll go to the light, and it ends up turn into a boss. That was so cool in that game. um you know
Hmm.
uh that was just like when I was a kid and I seen that, I was just like, "Whoa, Miyamoto, what is you doing?" That was mind blowing.
Yeah, I mean that was. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff in Link to the Past too, right? Where like, I mean, even
Mhm.
the rain effects at the beginning, right? Like that was something that I'm sure the first time people saw that on Super Nintendo, we were like, "Oh my gosh, that's incredible!" Like that they can do this. Um, but
What's the
I mean, some of the boss, I mean, some of those boss fights are so iconic they reappear in several incarnations of Zelda, right? So,
yeah,
um, yeah,
A Link Between Worlds? That was the one where Link could actually get onto the walls, right? He could turn into that
yeah,
drawing.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
that
kind of
was
use
so
that,
cool.
like, use the 2D spaces as like a 3D space for a little bit, yeah,
Yeah,
and it shows that that whole game is like so expertly designed in 3D, and then they like shift the camera to 2D. You know,
yes.
it's so crazy that they do that.
And then we get, of course, everybody Wind Waker
Yeah,
again.
which everybody hated at first.
Yes, I remember reading that in EGM
Yeah,
when they
everybody.
showed it.
Well, I think the thing is like obviously everybody likes it now, but there's a ton of revisionist
Mhm.
history on that game. I mean, I didn't like it at first either because I don't know. We were at that point where like I want to be cool, and like the people who wanted like the quote unquote cool games were like shifting to PlayStation, right? And like Metal Gear and Final Fantasy and everything else over there on PlayStation. Whereas like Nintendo was still like family friendly, kind of family oriented, geared that way at least, marketing wise. And we saw the um the Space World demo, right? Of essentially the Ocarina, a darker version of Ocarina, right, where Link was fighting Ganondorf, and like it was
Mhm.
this big fight, and I think it was the Temple of Time they were fighting in. I don't really remember. I just remember it was like a grayish blue dungeon area looking thing. Um, and it looked really cool, right? And then obviously they showed off Luigi's Mansion and 128 Marios, and I think Metroid was shown there, or at least a some sort of like graphic of Samus was shown off, right? And
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And it was like really cool. And then, after they showed us that, it was almost the same reaction some people had when like they showed that cool tech demo for the Wii U, and then we got Breath of the Wild, right? I mean, that they were questioning if Link was like if you were playing a girl in this Zelda game, right? Like
Yes.
that's how much the art style had changed from like this, high fidelity, essentially Twilight Princess looking game to Breath of the Wild, which is two very drastic art styles. I mean, you can still go look for that tech demo. IGN has a video of it up. There's plenty of footage
Mhm.
of it out there, but like that was one of the most incredible looking Zelda things I think I've ever seen. I still want a game like that, but uh, it's you look at Wind Waker and it's like, oh, well, we went from this cool ocarina looking thing to this, people were calling it Zelda because cell shaded. It was, the cell shaded graphics, and like, Dreamcast was kind of doing a lot of stuff like that, and
Mhm.
in a different capacity, right? Like Fur Fighters was doing that, and Cell Damage, I think, was the one of the games on there that was doing that,
Yeah.
and it was like
Jet
in
Set Radio.
Jet Set Radio was the big one. And Crazy Taxi was kind of doing it in its menus and everything. So like
Yeah.
to see Zelda take that on, people were kind of disappointed. But like when you play it, it's actually like a really awesome Zelda. It's awesome Zelda game. Like obviously they fixed a lot of the problems that people had with it in the HD version, but like the dungeons were cool, the exploration was cool. Red Lion became kind of, or the red dragon, right? Red Lion, red
The Red
dragon,
Lion.
red lion.
Lion.
Yeah, I wasn't making that up. Um, it became like an iconic fixture of the series, and to the point
Mhm.
where like it's rumored to be one of the next Zelda Lego sets since the boat. Uh, so like I just it comes down to the fact that like it's always been about gameplay first for Nintendo, and it's
Yeah.
still true to today, right? Even with the Switch and Switch 2, like with ARMS and Splatoon and uh, you know, 1-2 Switch, and even the stuff they've put out on Switch 2 with like Dragon Drive and the Welcome Tour, like it's all about gameplay first. It doesn't matter how hyper realistic or how weird the graphics look or how different it looks. Like Nintendo has always marched to the beat of their own drum, and to drastically
Mhm.
change a franchise like that after two successful games that were this really iconic art style. Like I still think people when they think of Zelda, even though Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is so iconic, and like when you think of traditional Zelda, I think people still look at the key art for Ocarina of Time as like the iconic looks for Zelda and Link, right? The green
Yeah.
tunic, the kind of the 90s almost anime-esque art style, the pink and white dress for Zelda, like that's the iconic look for them. The modern look, yeah, people think of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but like when you think of that classic look, it's clearly the Ocarina art style, you
Yeah.
know. So, I mean, what I mean, Twilight Princess is a cool art style too, but nobody thinks of Twilight Princess when you think of Zelda, like iconic looks for them. Although Zelda does look awesome in that game,
Mhm.
especially like when she's like holding the sword and you know, before she gets turned
Yeah.
into a puppet, essentially. uh, but yeah.
Yeah, it's Wind Waker changed a lot because, um, it was kinda going back to that kid's root of, that whimsical, um,
Hmm.
style, a whimsical feel of old school, The Legend of Zelda, but then you see how deep it goes when you're fighting Ganon and how the game ends and the frozen time moment when you're doing that section was mind blowing. And it was still, you still have that great lock on. You had those comedic moments like with the zooming in with Link's eyes when he's you know um when he's just like, okay, I gotta stuff, I gotta get through these parts. And like, um, when he's in the cannon and he gets blown off, you're like, yeah, and you see that smoke and everything. And it was just like Anuma and the team really paid attention to detail. Cause yeah, the style of the graphics are cell shaded, but there's a lot of detail that they used with it, with drawing the characters and using the eyes, um and using the camera and stuff like that. And it was just like, if when you go to the first dungeon and the dragon is stuck in the volcano, he's and you see him going like that. That's amazing to see that they're doing this cell shading. And then you go into the battle and you use his tail as a grappling hook to hook on and swing to hit the bosses and stuff. And it was just like they thought of everything. And then yeah, you got these little islands that you can find stuff. And then Tingle comes into play. And look at, yeah, he got his own game in Japan. Um he got the one guy famous with his picture dressing up as Tingle. And so, like, little things like that really really changed a lot of people's minds about Zelda. Dude, when Breath of the Wild got announced and was getting ready to release, a lot of parents and their kids were going through the series to get ready for the game. And Wind Waker was the game so many folks started out with. Whether it was the GameCube version or whether it was the Wii U version. I
Hmm.
think at that time it was the Wii U version because that one was out and more available
Hmm.
and stuff. So it was amazing to see that parents was just like, my kid beat their first Legend of Zelda game, and it happened to be Wind Waker, and now they're going through all the other games.
Yeah, Wind Waker. Honestly, Wind Waker's like surprisingly tough considering, you know,
Hmm.
the art style. Like it looks whimsical and fun, but it's hard. Like some of that stuff is like really hard. And I think that's always kind of been Zelda is like it definitely feels and looks approachable, but like it gets challenging a lot of the time, you know?
Yes,
So
and
maybe that's
then
just my opinion. It's a dumb opinion, but
no, and then it had been a while, and even though this is not part of a Zelda game, Darksiders came in. When
mm,
Darksiders dropped, that's when the Zelda-esque word started being used, because there wasn't a lot of games being compared to Zelda like Darksiders was, and designed
and
in a
obviously indie
sense.
games weren't as, I mean they were non-existent really until
Yeah.
like, you know, in the 360 Wii PS3 era, right? I mean,
Mhm.
and even then you had to have a publisher, which now you can self-publish, but like,
Yeah.
it was like Zelda games just didn't. exist, and so like you said, Darksiders was kind of like, oh well, this has the combat of classic God of War with the dungeon crawling of Zelda, which was like an
Mhm.
awesome premise, and like the game is awesome, right? I mean, I like
Yeah.
Darksiders. I think the second one's probably the best one, but that first one was fun.
Yeah, the first one, like, even with the bosses, it had, the Zelda kinda design with the phases and stuff like
Hmm.
that, um,
Yeah.
in a sense, and, it's good that you mentioned the indie games because all the indie games who use Zelda, the design, they use the Link to the Past design in a
I
sense.
mean, you look at all the games that I mean, you just finished one, right? I mean,
Yeah,
what's it called?
Under
Under
the
the
Island.
Island. Yeah, and
Yeah.
like when Switch launched, right? Like Blossom Tales got a lot of
Mhm.
hits. Uh, what was the other one? Not
The one that was
Uncharted.
like 5 the one that was like $5 when it came
I
out?
mean, Kamiko, yeah, but like, what's
Uh,
that? What's that game called? It's not called Uncharted. It has the term Uncharted in it, but I don't remember what it's called. I gotta look it up. But it was like that a 2D esque Zelda game.
mhm. What
Um,
about that Neo 8-bit, 16-bit looking one?
uh, what do you mean?
There was one that we played, um,
I
it
mean,
has like it
I said Blossom Tales earlier, but
Blossom Tales. It was the
uh,
one that kinda had like that those robots in the back in one of them. It was like pink and neon.
oh, Hyper
Uh,
Light Drifter.
Probably like Drifter, yeah, that one.
Yeah,
Sorry, I couldn't
yeah,
think of it.
Hyper Light Drifter. Hob was kind of Zelda esque.
Mhm.
Um, I'm scrolling through my Switch games right now. Man, I cannot believe I don't remember what that game is called. Oh, there it is. Ocean Horn,
Yes.
Monsters and Uncharted Seas is what the first game's called, and then there was a second one that was took more of a 3D Zelda approach to it, but
Approach,
Ocean
yeah.
Horn, and then we got games like Death's Door, which is more like isometric Soulsy, but has that Zelda feel to it. Tunic is very clearly inspired by Zelda.
Yes.
Um,
Death's Door is still, just a top 10 game.
Dude, Death's Door is like I think about that game quite often,
It
to be
that's why
honest.
I'm just like, it's a top tier perfect 10 to me.
Yeah, that game is
It's
amazing. So,
and it's funny, yeah.
um, so yeah, I mean, it's since then, I mean, there's a lot of Zelda out there now, and like some of it's good, some of it's meh, some of it's like, oh man, this could actually be a Zelda game. But like,
Mhm.
I mean, you look at something like how people talk about Skyrim, like that's how the original Zelda made you feel. Like you can kind of go anywhere and kind of do sort of what you want, and then you go to the dungeons. I mean, obviously you do the dungeons and get upgrades or whatever, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, how many times do you hear stories of people, and I'm sure you did this yourself at some point, where like you go around and like bomb every tree or every bush just to see if there was something under it, or you know cut every blade of grass just to see if a rupee would pop out or something, right? Like, I mean,
Mhm.
I've done that in Ocarina all the time. I mean,
In the
we
first
do that
Zelda,
in
I
Breath of
used
the Wild. Like, look at this grass
Breath,
wave. We can cut it all. We
I
could set it all on fire. Let's,
dude, I used to fire a lot of stuff, in the first Legend of Zelda and bomb walls when I could get them. Like,
hmm
I was doing a lot of that stuff 'cause you were surprised at the secrets that you would find in that game,
hmm yeah.
you know?
And so like Zelda offers a lot to, I mean, I'm playing Fire Emblem right now, and there's still like in the like there's some dungeons in there, not like you're not like going through dungeons, but like
Mhm.
you're still like going through, and like I'm using a thief on my team for the first time really, because they can unlock doors and pick chests without keys, and like
Yeah,
there's good stuff in there, and it's like, well, I want to find all the stuff in the level before I leave, and
yeah.
it's just like there's Zelda influences everywhere. um and I mean, even with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, like one of the big complaints, quote unquote, complaints was like, is Breath of the Wild feeding into every Nintendo franchise now? Because like Metroid had a little bit of it. Metroid Prime 4 had a little bit of it. Donkey Kong Bonanza had those like challenge levels that were kind of like shrines, and you know, Mario Odyssey's challenges were like these quick hit things. Like it I mean, I don't care. I know that they're different, but like people have, I mean, the influence has just spread so far. I mean, even
But
Ubisoft made their own Breath of the Wild game essentially with Immortals Phoenix Rising, right? I mean, that was like
yeah.
a a straight up Breath of the Wild ripoff almost. In a good way. I really I liked that game. But
But it's kind of the reverse in a sense because when it comes to Zelda, that one influenced so many genres and games, like the Z targeting in Ocarina of Time. Like,
mhm,
look how it affected a lot of action in even some third party games.
yeah.
Um, we talked about Zelda with Wind Waker, with that cell shading, like, and that inspired more games to do the cell shade. And, uh and stuff like that. You know, Twilight, not Twilight Princess, but you mentioned Breath of the Wild, and how just like that true open world was, you know, it wasn't a sandbox game that you know other companies were doing. It was truly open world because you did have the freedom to go anywhere. You just had to make sure that you was prepared to go there, and it's a risk, but there was always a reward. And the
Mhm,
game never held your hand. It literally gave you the basics. And after you got the basics, you figure out on how to do it. Why do you think there were so many videos posted on social media about that game for years? And then when Tears came out, the same thing happened. And it's still happening. I think
mhm,
that's why when you know, when Breath of the Wild won Game of the Year at the Game Awards, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's well deserved because I'm like, look how much that game has impacted the industry, you know. And then even after the Game Awards, even after it won, it was still impacting the industry. There was always something new that you were learning
mhm.
uh about that game.
Yep. So, I mean, Zelda's an icon for a reason, right? Obviously,
Hmm.
it's just there's so many things that go into it, and it's a franchise that keeps reinventing itself, but also still holds the torch of like tradition, right? Like even Tears of the Kingdom, how much it in Breath of the Wild obviously reinvented itself drastically over the
Yes.
previous 3D games, right? But Skyward Sword introduced the going back to places and kind of backtracking with the motion controls and everything. Breath of the Wild, open world, shrines, that sort of thing. But then you get to Tears of the Kingdom, and it drastically reinvents itself from Breath of the Wild in terms of like, oh, well, now you can build things, right? And
Hmm.
but also, hey, what if we brought dungeons back in a meaningful way? You know, and
Yeah.
they're not amazing dungeons, right? Like I think you know the fire temple is probably the best one out of the ones in Tears of the Kingdom, but like
Yes.
they were much better implemented than the divine beasts were, right, in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And like it brought back that feeling of like, oh, I got to go to this place to beat the boss, to get the thing, to you know kind of progress certain aspects of the game. And it like it almost like felt like they had their cake and ate it too, in a sense of like we kind of service both crowds and it works, you know. Uh because people still call for traditional 3D Zelda games, which I think we'll get one again eventually at some point from someone, but it won't be Nintendo. It'll be someone like Grezzo or something that does their own game, right? But uh maybe Capcom will do it again. um but yeah, I mean Zelda, it's amazing how much Zelda has changed yet stayed the same. Uh and most of it is positive, over 40 years. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I
Like
can't believe that franchise is 40 years old, dude. Like Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Kid Icarus. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, Castlevania just did their whole thing at the State of Play at the time of this
yeah.
recording, right? Like, you think of
Rayman
all these
30th.
franchises, right? I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog is 35. You know, all the Xbox stuff is Xbox celebrating their 25th anniversary this year.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe if they make it. Uh, but you know, they obviously at the time of this recording, they just went through a whole leadership change over there. We don't really know a whole lot about it yet, except for the statements
Mhm.
that have been released and like obviously people speculating. But we did talk a little bit about it on Pal Block, but we're gonna expand on that probably more towards the summer when we know more of the direction that Xbox is going on an expansion
Yes.
pass. But uh man, these franchises have just been around and they're iconic for a reason. I mean, we downloaded the that My Mario app, right,
Mhm.
or whatever it's called. The and like, yeah, it's essentially the Mario 64 start screen, right, with like a couple other, you know, features and accoutrements or whatever. But like, it's like it brought so much nostalgia back for me, and my kids were having fun because it's Mario and they love Mario. You know, like they want to see the new Mario movie, and like the Mario
Oh,
movie could very that might very likely be their first theater experience, you know? Like
nice.
we've never gone to the theater to see anything. We almost went the other day or like a couple weeks ago to see Zootopia 2. We almost went, but
I do wanna see that.
but we at the last well, not the last second, but like the day before we were going to go, Riley kind of said she didn't feel comfortable going yet, so we didn't, but they want to see the Mario movie in theaters. So
Have they
we
seen the first one?
Yeah, well, we've seen it
Oh,
a couple
okay.
times. They love it. Um they're excited to see Yoshi and the babies, and like it's one of those things where like you think about all the things in these things as adults that are like you know, in general, not me and you necessarily, but like in general
Yeah.
that are like annoying to adults, or like the way franchises change, and the adults that grew up with it are like, oh, this is stupid, it's not my, you know, not my Ninja Turtles or not my Power Rangers. But like I'm watching, like when I watch Miles watch Ninja Turtles or Power Rangers on TV, right, and it's the newer ones or like the ones I didn't grow up watching, but I watch him be into it, and it like makes me want to be more into it, you know,
Mhm.
because it makes him happy. Or like when Riley is watching some of this, you know, when she's watching clips of the Mario movie and she's like, it's Rosalina, or like it's Peach, it's Toad, it's Yoshi, you know, like, and then like she sees Yoshi holding the super scope in the trailer, right, and trying to save the
Yeah.
babies from the Odyssey T-Rex or whatever. And she's like, why does Yoshi have a gun? And I was like trying to explain to her what the super scope was. And she just like, you know, like halfway through the first sentence of me trying to explain it, she was like over it, you know. But like, you know, but it's, you know, this, the Mario movie stuff is different than what, you know, we were used to on the cartoons growing up
Mhm.
and stuff. You know, it's definitely no Captain Lou. But at the end of the day, like it's 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 the magic of Nintendo and how they like are able to do the Disney thing and like pull kids in with their with the magic essentially, you know? And
Mhm.
like I don't know. I've kind of turned around on the Mario movie, the first one, because of my kids, you know, and how much they love it.
It's so
Um
much fun. It's so good.
yeah, and then like it's really fun to see my son like really try to play Mario Wonder and like start to get frustrated when he knows what he's supposed to do and can't get it right. Like
Mhm.
when we would play like 6 months ago, like if he fell in a hole, he knew he was going to turn into a bubble, and I would save him. Be like, "Oh, thanks," you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Give me that power up. Give me the elephant. And like 5 seconds later, he would lose it because he would run into an enemy and not understand that the enemies like hurt you. But
Yeah.
now, like he's actually trying. Dude, I saw him wall jump today. Like I'm like, he's I mean, he's gonna be 5 in a couple weeks, but like he's only 4, dude, and he's wall jumping in Mario. Like it's crazy. Like it's crazy to see this stuff. Or like, when
Look
we're
at look.
like he's playing through like full levels of Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers by himself without me now and like beating them. He's struggling, but he's beating them, and it's
Mhm.
like, man, like even 6 months ago, he was like not even like fighting in Power Rangers. He was just running around trying to like punch the stuff to get tacos or ice cream cones or whatever to get health, like,
But now
um,
he's adjusting. He's
yeah. And like,
gaining skill.
Riley is like starting to play Mario Kart in like a real way where she like wants to play by herself and like practice essentially so she
Yeah.
can learn how to jump off the ramps at the right time or learn how to drift or learn what the different items do instead of just like, oh, I got an item, let's just throw it real quick, like.
I wonder how she would do in Mario Paint.
Yeah, I thought about introducing her to Mario Paint. She's not really into like the old games yet, right? Like I tried to show her like Mario 3, for example,
Mhm.
and she was like not having it. She wants to be like Peach and run around and see like the flashy colors and the pretty graphics and everything. Like she's me at that age through and through. Like she doesn't want anything to do with anything older than what's new, Um, but yeah, I thought about it. I still think the way
Just
the Joy-Con works as a mouse is a little bit
mhm,
too. I don't know though because they have computers at school. Like she has her own computer for school. So like
right.
I don't know,
Because I just
maybe.
wonder. Because I just want to know, like, how would she react to doing art and drawing and coloring, like Yoshi and them, and then to see how creative they could get the music portion in Mario Paint, like arrangements and stuff.
Oh no,
Like I
they're not ready for that.
like I think I just wanted to see how creative they could get with the education games that or to create kind of games titles um that
Yeah, she
Nintendo has
did
done.
she did ask me today though what Mario Maker was. I thought about introducing her to that and like teaching them how to play by building like quote unquote beginner Mario levels. Like,
Hmm.
oh, here's how you jump. Oh, you need to press run and jump at the same time to make this gap, right? Like making these really simple levels to have them learn how to do the simple things in Mario, right?
That's
Which,
not a bad idea.
yeah, I just wonder how long that would take, but also like I do see them get frustrated when they play certain levels and they can't do certain things because they're just
Mhm.
either they haven't played enough of it to understand or like they're just
Yeah,
not coordinated enough yet to do that. And so like I've been thinking about that for a long time of like, man, I wonder if like because it has the new Super Mario Brothers style and the Mario 3D World style in it. So like
right,
they could I mean they would play that version of it, right? So like
because you could do it on Mario Maker too.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
Mario Maker 2.
okay.
Yeah. Um so I don't know, maybe. I'm thinking about it, honestly.
So that they could use what they learned to be like, okay, I was able to do this in this game. Let's see if I could use it in this Mario and Mario Wonder or whatever, and adjust or you know clean it up and be like, okay, I got the skill now. I just need to apply it. I need to
Mhm.
perfect it. You know,
Yeah.
that's you know what that is not a bad expansion pass to do maybe in the future
I'm actually kind of
using.
shocked that Nintendo hasn't like put out a level pack for Mario Maker that's like that. Maybe they have, maybe I
Mhm.
just haven't played Mario Maker in a long time, but um yeah, I don't know. I've just been thinking about that a lot recently of like
using Mario Maker 2 as a learning
Yeah,
to play Mario games,
yeah, and
2D Mario
not
games.
even just Mario games, but like maybe build like a some sort of level of like, okay, well, there's enemies here, so like maybe you need to learn how to like find a key to open a door, right? Like it's puzzle
Mhm.
solving, or obviously that's like quote unquote advanced Mario stuff, but like
Right.
um it's something I've really thought about, especially when Miles started showing his interest in Mario specifically. Like obviously he loves Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, but like it's easy to just mash buttons, run across the screen, which is why I started him on those games in the first place, because I knew he wasn't going to be coordinated enough to like jump and whatever.
Yeah.
But uh yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I'm the more we talk about it, the more I kind of want to do that.
I think flesh it out. Give it some time, flesh it out. 'Cause I think I would love to do expansion on that using some of these creative games to teach skill for gaming now. Cause like we didn't have that. You like even with the Legend of Zelda, we didn't have something to teach us on how to play that game. We literally just had to play it, learn by default
Hmm.
and everything. You
Yeah, which
know.
which was fine back then, but also like considering how many choices of things they have now, right? Like we didn't have
Hmm.
the tablets where like, oh, it's a touch screen and we can just drag and drop things, or like learn how to do
Right.
play games this way or whatever. We're in the unique position of like learning as the industry grew with us, and I don't know, man. I think it's just I don't know.
Yeah. Let's give it time. Let's give it time. Let it sizzle. And we'll come back to that one. Because I think I would love to. I think I would love to, I want to do a special pass on that to see how it goes when you actually um execute it and just get like results and then just talk about what are the things we as gamers can learn, and how do we apply what we learn to actually help kids or other people become better players. And can Nintendo be that leading tool just with some of their games, creative games, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
because I always, because like even like Art Academy on DS, I always thought that was a great game to teach
yeah,
people
and
on how to create and use different uh materials to create pictures and stuff.
yeah, and it's like it's not even like, I mean, there's stuff like that on Switch now too, right? Like not Art Academy specifically, but there are
Hmm.
art games on there that I've been thinking about um letting like getting and letting Riley kind of play around with, you know.
Hmm.
Uh
Cause I, cause yeah, cause if they ever did the DS NSO
mhm.
and get and resell like the pens and stuff, like even bigger pens, uh, and we could take that on the go or just play it in the house. Do if Art Academy because it's on. Because I'm just like, I want to get back to draw. I want to learn. I want to see how I could do a technique that this game could teach me, or even you look at YouTube and learn some of the techniques and transfer that technique into my style of artwork and everything on the DS.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, so, but I think that's gonna be it, Corey, for this episode of Expansion Pass. I think we're gonna save um the future of the Zelda games for another one. I think um I want to see what their next trailer or their next announcement goes, and then go from there to see where Zelda could go from there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, happy 40th to the Legend of Zelda. If you guys own a
Can't believe that it's 40 years, dude.
I know. If you guys own a Switch or a Switch 2, if you own the Switch 2, and you are an NSO Expansion Pass member, you'll be able to play Wind Waker in its original state with some adjustments on there. But if you don't have the Switch 2, you can play most of the Legend of Zelda series on NSO. If you have an expansion pass there. So you will have the games on Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, and Game Boy Advance on there, and 64 if you have expansion. So most of the Zelda games are there, and they're in those formats, so you can play there. If this is your first time playing it, that's great. Use the rewind function if you get lost or you get hurt or anything. Like, really learn the game, and you'll probably understand why people love the series and the lore to these games so much. With that, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Expansion Pass. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Francisco Santillan, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., and Fitzpatrick. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.